When we look back to the early days of modern medicine, our life expectancy was way shorter. And this is normal because at that point in time, when we were sick, we needed a treatment to survive. But when time progressed, the treatments became better and better, and we needed to live with chronic illness, where the care becomes a bigger part of our life. But the main question is, where is this heading to? As far as I can see, this leads to a long and sick life, where we need to spend the last months or years of our life into hospital. That is not the world where I want to get old in. We can do much better. Prevention holds the key. As history proved that when we add prevention to medicine, we stay longer healthy. And we can aim for a long and healthy life. And that's the world where I want to live in. And for this, technology holds the key. Just as FibriCheck. FibriCheck is a digital application to timely detect for cardiac arrhythmias. And initially, we focused on atrial fibrillation, the most common cardiac arrhythmia that causes a lot of strokes. Atrial fibrillation, ladies and gentlemen, is a huge problem today. 1 out of 4 is developing AFib in their lifetime. And the big issue is that a lot of people don't experience any symptoms and that AFib is not always present. More, suffering a stroke is often the first presenting symptom, costing the society billions of dollars, and families lots of grief. Unnecessary grief, as scientific studies have proven that over 75% of these strokes can be prevented by early diagnosis. But when you look at today's landscape of medical technologies that screen for arrhythmias, they have their limitations. They are limited in time, in location, or hardware dependent. And that's exactly the gap we fill in with FibriCheck, as FibriCheck is a digital heart rhythm monitor that transforms your smartphone into a medical device. From a user perspective, pretty simple. We just request the user to put his finger on the camera for 60 seconds, and we take care of the rest. And of course, the beauty, because you use tools that is already in the pocket of people, you're not limited to a single spot check, but you request users to do multiple measurements over time, thereby generating long-term insights to go towards predictions. And no, ladies and gentlemen, FibriCheck is not just an app on a smartphone. We are one of the only ones that are fully certified as a medical device, both in Europe, but we're also FDA approved as well. And this was only possible thanks to our own patented quality system. We're not able to distinguish between different cardiac arrhythmias, but where we are also able to distinguish between cardiac arrhythmias and bad quality to don't cost unnecessary to the society. But what about business? And here EIT Help was an excellent help for us because business in the healthcare sector is very, very difficult. Together with them, we found out that initially we needed to make a long-term investment in our ecosystem. So basically what we did was implementing an app on prescription model. What does it mean? Everybody could freely download FibriCheck from the App Store or the Google Play Store, but you needed an access code to really start using it. And guess what? Initially, it was only the doctor that could provide the access tokens to his patients. So it was the doctor that decided who could use our application for which period in time. So how does this work? A doctor provides an application to a patient, an access code. Patient goes home, just downloads the app, and in the registration process, he is requested to scan the access token. Thereby, the unique and secure link is made between himself and his physician. From that moment onwards, a patient can start measuring, each time by putting his finger on the camera for 1 minute, and he does receive immediate feedback. But important is that all the measurements are transmitted as well to a secured backend system and that the physician has access to the data of all his patients. Of course, in countries where telemonitoring is not reimbursed, no physician has any incentive to look at the data, so we have our own telemonitoring center with cardiologists. We look at the data and we just tell the physician when something is going wrong with their patients. And of course, the beauty of digital, because you can easily communicate, you can also collect data from the patients, real-life data, to become better and to keep data truly meaningful. And of course, you feel immediately, this model is not scalable, but it was necessary for us to build trust. But the true value of FibriCheck lies beyond, as we are able to reach people that did not know they need a doctor. To prove, we implemented a couple digital screenings where we take the same access token but put it into media and made it generic. So for example, put the access token into a newspaper so everybody could just start by scanning the access token from the newspaper. A recent screening we did in December 2018 where we put the access token into a local newspaper, over 65,000 people participated, and they performed over 600,000 measurements in 7 days. After 7 days, more than 800 people were sent to the doctor with dangerous cardiac arrhythmias, and some 6,000 others had other cardiac arrhythmias that were of course not sent to the doctor, but were requested to tell their doctor next time that they were there. This is the power of digital. So where are we today? Today, over 1,200 doctors are prescribing FibriCheck. We have been used by almost 120,000 of people, and we have done a lot of things. But it stays difficult. For example, we have done our first reimbursements, but this is very on a local scale, because each country has their own rules. And of course, it does not stop at smartphones. Our smartwatch solution is ready as well, and we will launch it together with a wearable provider. With respect to internationalization, it's clear that digital has no boundaries. We need to scale. And with a lack of harmonization, for us, it goes through partnerships. Partnership with pharmaceutical companies, medical device companies, and insurance companies that are way bigger in all the countries. So I truly believe innovation holds the key, and that in Europe, we have a lot of technology. Scaling stays difficult due to the lack of harmonization, so harmonization would help. And for us today, partnerships are key. If you're interested, don't hesitate to connect. Thank you.